Coffee, Regidar,
Howdy.
and it is I, Muggonny. And today we are interviewing Regidar. How are you, Regidar?
I'm doing all right. How are you fellas?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
I'm doing pretty alright.
Yes.
It's been an alright
Cool.
day.
If you don't know who Regidar is an author of 187 stories. He has been writing for fiction since May of 2012. Regidar, what else is it that you do?
Other than just generally waste space and oxygen and resources, I'm usually, if I'm not writing, or doing some bullshit real life job so I don't starve to death, then I'm really into music and shit like that. I try to play my own music, but like I'm also really into not just like music itself, but like categorizing music and like deep lore on bands and shit like that. You know, just the music fandom in general, if you would.
Ooh. So, like, what do you play any instruments? Like, what kind?
I play guitar and I play keyboard. I'm very bad at both of them, and I'm still learning music, like just barely beyond basic music theory. But like, I know some chords. I know a note or two, maybe even a melody.
Ooh. Do you have
So far
any
away, I have to
instruments
like
on you?
stand up and walk like 3 or 4 feet. I mean, yeah, no, I got my
Don't
guitar
get
in the
important.
background, but like, nah, I don't think I have it in me.
Yeah, it's good. Getting up takes energy, and it's my belief we shouldn't waste energy.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if anyone shows up from me blogging it.
I blogged it too, and the one thing I heard about you from literally everyone is that you love music. I heard that specifically from iStar and Norris the Pony.
I am very much I'm the music guy. I'm that guy who likes music.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
see, I respect that.
the,
I
the
think that's like
Norse
90%
sharing.
of Norris's conversations with me is just sharing music with each other.
Oh, he's got a good taste in music. He's shown me a couple of bands, and I've had the privilege of showing him a few bands as well, which is pretty neat. It's always cool to get somebody into a band that you like.
Yeah,
Um, no, I really like the whole like just experience of like just like not like I said before, just not just the music itself, which always comes first. Because the other things won't, like, if I'm not into the music, I'm not gonna bother to check out the band anymore, like any further. But like I really like just like learning stuff about band members, about like the way that they do certain techniques, and like the development of the genre that they're a part of, and how they're either like exemplifying the genre or pushing it forward or foundational to a different set of genres in different ways. So I just like general music development history, I guess, is also a really big passion of mine. So I know a lot about like genres and like art scenes and waves of music and shit like that. Basically, I just go on Mew all the time.
Do you have
actually, no,
any
that's fucking dope though.
bands to recommend?
Um, in terms like shit, I'll try and get a nice cosmopolitan scatter shot in there of different types of music. But been into that '90s emo lately, so definitely recommend some of that.
90s
Some of that
emo.
like Rainer Maria, Mineral, American football type shit. It's all good. Um, like on a completely different track of music. Um, there's some like good like lo-fi psychedelic-ish background music, Monopoly Child Star Searchers, and James Ferraro under any of his many pseudonyms and fake identities that he puts music under. uh, ARGs are pretty cool too. Shit like Panchinko, or KFC Murder Chicks, who were involved in that whole Eratus ARG thing that was happening a couple years ago.
What is it that ARG stands for? I'm
Oh,
not big
alternate
in the music scene.
reality game.
Oh,
Yeah,
alternate
oh, dude,
reality. I've
yeah,
heard of
yeah,
those.
fucking
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Those are really fucking cool.
yeah. Oh my god.
and the Eratus thing was just some shit about like somebody went on X, the 4chan board, and was talking about how they were hired for like a company to do like very basic like coding, I think, some low level software uh, engineering or development position. And anytime that they typed in Eratus, which they discovered through the like just like they found like an empty file on the computer named Eratus, and anytime that they typed it into the computer, it would end up tagging them to get all of their shit deleted. And from there, like other people started talking about it too, but there's like no information about it online.
Yeah, thus it develops into like a little mystery game, try to figure it out and what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. Although I'm
Yeah.
not sure where the conclusion of that actually went. Like there are a couple of like articles about it online that give like a sort of like summary of what it was like, but I don't know. That one I think was just sort of like a weird little like. I mean, I'm not even so sure because the reason why it was more than just like a weird like little urban legend meme kind of thing was because they discovered like Facebook users and Bandcamp users, which is how the music gets involved with this, and like shit like that. They would find like music related to this, and like certain like users talking about Eratus would have their usernames for like anagrams for artists on Bandcamp that whose music had like just been released and everything. So what people think is that it was kind of just like a really like elaborate promotional thing for this artist called DJ Roswell, who goes by a bunch of different pseudonyms and releases his music like indie style on the internet and everything.
It's interesting. So I know a lot of like companies sometimes like do like ARGs like that in order to promote like movies and games and things like that. I think it's a pretty cool way to like advertise something. It's one way to like gain the interest of the internet. That's for sure.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. Those ARGs are really interesting because like a lot of them, if you're willing to put the information together, there are some that are like so complex that just like the story of like just trying to figure out the information itself is really interesting, and then you have that side, which is like the side that's really just trying to fit in, honestly. That tries to make it seem like it's a very real thing, but is obviously not a real thing. Because let's take like a murder mystery for example. Okay, there's no reason why it would be believable. Because why would a murderer get this so complex on a YouTube channel? So, but that trend is really interesting because of that. Because you get to like unfold the story.
Yeah, no, that's a dimension of like audience interaction, I guess, that allows people to identify with the music more. It kind of makes the
Yeah.
music a little cooler. Like there's another ARG, although people are still there. People who still say that it's like not an ARG, that it's a real thing. But I'm kind of leaning personally towards it sort of being a elaborate hoax. But they discovered an album, quote unquote, discovered. Somebody said they discovered an album in their record shop's like used bin that came from like 2000, but it had like a lot of the same like sort of motifs and lyrical content and guitar playing styles as like a band that had come out in like 2015 or 2016 in just like the general indie scene. So people were just going, "Oh, this album was really ahead of its time. Look, it even had a picture of like an anime for the album cover, and barely anyone was doing that at the time." And I think now it's been somewhat proven that it was like the album actually was recorded in 2015, so it really isn't that impressive. It's still like a good album, and that one's Panchenko. So that's like one of the more like famous ARGs, I guess, because it got like huge meme status over the past couple of years.
Pan Panchiko, you said?
Yeah, Panchiko. I think. Let me look it up really fast. I've got it in my like everything aside. It is actually just like it's a good album, but like a a lot of the appeal of it comes from its sort of backstory. I would definitely say, like, it definitely would not be as popular as it is now without that meme story attached, like the meme backstory attached to it.
Let's see here, controversy after the re-release of DEATHMETAL. So people online question the validity of its release. I'm not sure if this is the right thing I have pulled up here.
Oh no, it is. Because
Really?
like yeah, it's spelled death metal, but with all like the lesser than symbols in it.
They have an official Discord server. Huh.
Yeah, no, I think that's what people were like taught. Like I think that's why people assume that maybe it wasn't actually like, that it had been elaborately cooked up by the Discord server and everything. But honestly, jury's still out on that.
It's other shit when it comes to internet stuff like that. Information just travels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, at this point, it's like, who cares if it's like real or not? It's still just like it's a
It's
cool
fun.
story
Yeah.
with it's a fun story, and the album isn't like bad by any stretch of the imagination. So
The story doesn't really become a problem until 4chan gets a hold of it. Yeah.
Oh boy. Then it just elevates to a whole nother level.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know it. Yeah, no, I mean, from what I've been able to tell, just from being on Mew and shit, that like their general opinion is that it's a hoax, but there's no definitive proof one way or the other. So it's like, who can say?
I would
I think
just
it's
go
just
along with it.
Yeah, honestly, it's just like you guys said, just something fun.
Yeah, no, I think that's the most like. What is the journey's more important than the destination?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, like everyone would like love like the answer, but like if the answer is like not as cool as the journey, then it kind of makes it a letdown, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just sort of like, oh well, now what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this ARG? Didn't you say that it finished? Is this one still going on?
More or
they create a new one?
less.
Sorry,
I mean, the thing that really makes me think that this ARG is actually like, or like, it's real is that they have like, and of course they could have faked this, but it seems like so much effort to put into faking something that like really is not like going to be generating any money, or like it's not really going to be that noteworthy. But like, I'm not discounting the fact that it could be faked, but apparently, allegedly, the original members of the band found out about like how the album had like blown up, because originally it was something that wasn't even online, it was just something that people had, and like that somebody found in the bargain bin at their local record shop. So it's probably just from a local band that no one had, that like, was around when the band members were in high school or like college or whatever, just for fun. And then they ended up making like one album and then breaking up, and then like, the album is basically lost till time until this person found it in the record shop. But apparently the band heard like how it had become a meme, and they did like a re-released like re-recorded version, because the original one had become so like MP3 disc rotted from people like uploading it and downloading it and uploading it again a million times, that like the album was pretty much impossible to find in like a listenable condition. Like both versions are on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean if you listen to it. Like the digital rot is like crazy on the original tracks, and the re-uploaded ones sound much nicer.
I find that interesting that you could, you can start an album in college and just completely move on with your life. Just stop doing music altogether, and just years later, people find out about it and blows up.
Oh yeah, no, that's like, I think there are a couple of stories like that, but definitely like this is the kind of like the most notable one, because like this is really just like, it's not like just like a little like indie band that like that you were doing on the side. Like you said, it's like they made like this is literally like a tiny project that probably never even did anything except for play past local bars or whatever. Like they never had any sort of like reach beyond that, not even online until 15, 16 years later when some dude just finds it in a record shop and then it becomes like a whole big thing
Yeah.
online.
This is kind of still on the topic of ARGs mainly, and just not in like ARG games, but like more just alternate reality particular. And it's kind of shy away from music. But what do you think of the Mandela effect? Do you believe
Oh yeah,
that?
that. No, I don't really believe that at all. I actually think that it's just sort of it's just people misremembering shit.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think
There's
people
no
just
real. There's
misremembered it, and then a lot of people misremember it. And since there's a lot of people misremembering it, they're just like, "Oh, it must have been like this before." It's
yeah,
like fucking X, schizo
yeah.
posting.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
you got a lot of these people who like they're desperate to believe in something that's really cool. They're desperate to believe in some kind of higher order. So once they remember something completely different from how it used to be, the idea there is I'm having a memory from alternate reality, which by concept that's actually really cool to me to like be able to have memories from your alternate self. But
Takes notes for future ideas.
there you go.
No,
There you go.
it's a good sci-fi slash
Yeah,
fantasy story to go with, but it's not real. It's like,
yeah, I know it's not real.
although to be fair, like as far as like weird conspiracies about shit that it doesn't make any sense goes, like this is one of the more innocuous ones. Like this is like
Yeah,
nobody really believing in the Mandela effect and causing like a massive amount of trouble for people or like doing like or causing like violence or anything. Or like even like the flat Earth stuff is a little more like it's easy to suck people into, I guess, like
yeah,
a pyramid scheme type shit because like a
Yeah.
lot of that like that's the thing with pseudoscience is like the real big trouble with like this kind of thinking isn't really that there's anything inherently wrong with having a different perspective on the world or even like just being like kind of like verifiably and empirically wrong about something. Like there's nothing wrong with believing in that. The problem with that is then there are people who are like predatory on the people who believe things like this and get them involved with pyramid scheme shit like the essential oils kind of shit with like
yeah.
doTERRA.
Oh, yeah. It's
And
when
like
people want to make a profit.
Yep.
a lot of alt health stuff, alternative medicine shit too. It's just like, it's like prime for scam artists and pyramid schemes.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
am sure that.
Crap. There's this new show on I believe it's called A How To with John Wilson, and it's just like a comedy docu series on this guy going out in public and talking about random things like scaffolding. And one of the episodes he talks about everyday forgetfulness, and he actually goes to a Mandela effects convention. And at the convention, there's this guy just selling his book for I think you can buy the book for $50, and it's 80 pages long.
I'm sorry, can we just stop there and like just appreciate the fact that the Mandela effect has become such an overarching and pervasive like theory and frame of mind that they have fucking conventions for it
Yeah.
now?
You know, Mike, that was the episode that showed me about the scaffolding.
Yeah, the scaffolding episode.
Yeah, I actually need to continue watching the show. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I showed you Nathan Fielder after I showed you that show. He was
Oh,
actually
Nathan Fielder is fucking great.
yeah. Nathan Fielder is actually the producer for How To with John Wilson. That's why I got into that show.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, Nathan for You is fucking like me and my brother watch that shit all the time, and it's some of the funniest shit
What
Yeah,
did you think of the finale?
of Nathan for You.
Yeah, because it was
I
really
didn't.
interesting.
I don't think
Oh,
I got that far actually. Like we're probably like
oh,
I watched a lot of it broken up into clips on YouTube, and then me and my brother just started watching it like all the way through,
yeah,
like properly with the episodes because we like he'd watched it when it was first running, and I had run through all the clips a shit ton of times, but never actually seen the real show. So when we got the streaming, I forget which streaming service we got it for. I think
yeah. Uh,
whatever Whatever.
Sorry.
It's one of the multitude that you have to buy now because everything's fucking
Yeah, you
balkanized.
get
Uh,
gotta suck you dry. Yeah.
you can get it on HBO Max.
It's
If
probably HBO Max. I'm just trying to remember what our family had most recently bought because like for a while we were simple. All we needed was Netflix,
Netflix.
yeah.
but then Hulu and now HBO Max. Probably a bunch of other shit too that I'm
Yeah.
not even like thinking of
I
right now that we
I
pay fucking $7 a month for.
Yeah, it doesn't seem big when like you first get the subscription, but like they add up, and then like oh, I got a healthy bank account. The next day they all tag you at once. Like, oh shit.
yeah. I'm just waiting for the day that companies
Leeches
will
the lot of
realize.
them.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the day that companies will realize that having their own streaming service isn't the smartest of ideas because eventually there's going to be so many, if there aren't already, there's going to be so many that people aren't going to know what to congregate to, so they're just going to congregate onto one platform. This is just because it's much easier. That's why
Conveniency is very important.
yeah, I have respect for HBO Max because they actually partnered with Cartoon Network, Comedy Central, and a bunch of others just to bring up a bunch of movies and TV shows to their platform. So it's kind of respectable of them.
Yeah, they did that also. Like for there's gonna be like a theatrical release and
Yeah.
HBO Max release on the same day for Godzilla versus Kong. I'm like, I'm so happy for that, just in case like COVID prevents me from actually going to a theater.
Yeah, and Christopher Nolan was pissed because he still wants
Oh god,
he
yeah, he had his whole little bitch fit on Twitter.
yeah, because he likes using movie theaters because movie theaters are where the money is. Streaming services, you get more creative freedom, but you don't get as much money. So
That's the golden word there, the money. That's where everyone's eyes at.
I mean, if you want to have your film in a movie theater because you think it will heighten the experience, then go for it because it
Yeah,
honestly
that's the reason why I
does.
want it. It's like
Yeah,
it's just fun. I like going to the theater. Unfortunately, we're in very trying times. I can't actually do that.
yeah, but
It's not the smartest move.
yeah, but yeah, he released his he released Tenants in the middle of the pandemic, which wasn't a smart idea to begin with.
Yeah, especially since everyone's pretty disgruntled about it. That was a very unwise move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, crap, we kind of feared me off course there. No, no, we were talking about that Nathan Free, but yeah, let me know once you reach the finale, because the finale is really interesting because they actually go feature length, and it still has like that signature sense of humor, but it's more of a documentary style because it goes into depth about the Bill Gates character. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah, the fucking dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually plays a big part in the finale because you start to learn about his life, and it gets really revealing of who he is. So yeah, I would like to have a conversation with you whenever you get to that.
All right, I'll fill you in once we reach there. There's 3 seasons, right?
I think there's four.
Okay, so we're on season like 2 now. Like we
Yeah,
just started season 2
yeah. When did you guys start watching it?
like a couple weeks ago.
Uh, I,
Like my brother's not always here at this house because he's still in high school and our parents are separated. So he'll like
uh,
uh he'll show up every now and then. Spends a lot of time at his girlfriend's house too, but you guys don't need to know my brother's whole schedule.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I just need to know the social security number and
Oh, well, that you
What's
can
his
have no problem.
address? That reminds
Since his
me.
address is also my address, I'm not going to be revealing that either.
darn. So close.
That reminded me of something that
Sneaky,
happened to
sneaky.
me just the other day. I have 2 copies of Red Dead Redemption 2 because I lost my original for a while, and so I bought a new one, and then I found the old one. So I was trying to sell the old one on the Facebook market when somebody offered to buy it. The guy sounded a little immature, so I asked how old he was. He said he was 14 years old. I said, okay, so can I speak to a parent or legal guardian so that I can bring the game to you? Because what this kid was doing is he was sending me a bunch of messages. Like, I wasn't checking my phone all day. He was sending a bunch of messages asking me where to meet him. And if you know anything about today's society, a 14-year-old going to meet a 22-year-old man with a neck beard is it's
Yeah,
not
the
really.
rest faster, to be blunt.
Yeah,
might
That's a
be
shoot
a
first, ask
slight off.
questions later situation
yeah,
if you're the cops.
yeah. And here's the
To be
thing.
fair, it might be a Fed boy posing as the 14-year-old.
And here's the thing. He started to get all uppity when I was asking him to talk to his parents. He's saying I was asking him weird questions when I was asking him questions to avoid looking weird.
And yet you somehow made yourself look even weirder. Tragic.
It's like I can't believe like the one time I decided to actually think like an adult. I get treated like I'm not an adult. That's part of a 14-year-old.
Damn.
Uh,
Oh,
the, so this is the whole story to explain why you were like 3 hours late to the podcast, and we saw your mugshot on the news saying dangerous sexual predator on the loose, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
that explains why he wanted me. He needed to
Well,
accomplish.
here's it's all fine now. I'm using VPN, so they can't find me.
Okay. You got a VPN and like 3 proxies, so
Yeah,
you're safe.
I'm using Nord. I'm all good. They think
Are
I'm
we are we
Hey,
are we sponsored? Are we allowed to give a
Crawdad
sponsorship?
shillings.
yes. I'm actually streaming from Japan.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So we were having a conversation in Discord the other day about our jobs, and you had a story about yours.
Oh yeah. Well, shit. I guess I can just rehash the one that I told yesterday. Like, I could bring up any number of just like hilarious little situations that's happened at work. Maybe they were situations that like they were you had to be there kind of situations. But this one is just like it's a mixture of it's absurd, but it's also at the same time a little bit sad and overall very interesting. So you've got the full palette of human emotions and hooks there to get you interested. So back in 2018, I used to work at a cheesecake factory in Madison, Wisconsin, and it fucking sucked. I washed dishes for $13 an hour there, and they called me in to do overtime work constantly, even when I told them that I wasn't going to be available on certain days, and like threatened me with my job over it. And also, a lot of the money that I was paying at the time was going to my roommate for like just like the cost of living expenses. So like I was working this horrible job and barely had any money to actually show for it. Um, so then one of my while we're like in the middle of the fall season, like right after October, so like right after Halloween, one of my friend's moms passes away, and I'm trying to see if I can end up going back to Hawaii where I grew up, and where her funeral was, to like go to the funeral. But I didn't end up being able to get a ticket over there, by the way, which kind of sucked. But like in any case, I wanted to be able to take like a little bit of time off of work just to like emotionally deal with everything. And I asked my manager, or one of them anyway, because we had 5 managers because it was kind of a big place. So I asked one of the managers who was like this. I cannot recall what country he was actually from, but he was Slavic. He was from Eastern Europe, one of those ex-Soviet bloc countries. So in this, but not Russian. So that's very important to like when you're imagining this guy talking. It's like a knockoff Russian accent, basically. So it could be Ukrainian, it could be Moldovan, it could be Belarusian, whatever. Um, so this guy's talking in this thick Eastern European accent when I'm asking him for time off, like like I'm explaining the situation to him, like, hey, my friend's mom passed away. I want to try and be able to go back to Hawaii to see if I can be there for the funeral and everything. And in either way, I kind of just need some time off, to process my emotions about the whole thing. And the guy just in his thick accent is just like, "Oh, I didn't even take off work for when my mother died a few weeks ago." And I couldn't tell if he was like just like trying to like flex on me and just make some absurd shit up, to try and like bully me out of not working, like, to bully me into working again on those days and not taking like a week and a half off. But either way, like I just cannot imagine the true sadness of like dedicating your life so fully to working at a cheesecake factory in fucking Wisconsin that you don't even take time off for when your own mom dies. Like, my
Yeah,
friend's mom
yeah, it's crazy.
grew up around died, and I felt like I needed to take time off. And then he's just like, like, oh, my mother, I never even bothered to take off work when she died. And it's just like, okay, dude, whoa, calm down.
Oh shit! Fucking take it to 11.
Like,
Did you even
this
love your
this
mother?
job is not. Yeah, this job is not that important to me. I don't know if this is going to come as a shock or a surprise to you or something, but it actually turns out that my passion in life is not washing dishes. So I have no problem just letting this job slip through my fingers. Although I actually kind of did have a problem with that because I didn't want to like end up owing my roommate money and shit or getting kicked out.
Yeah, very important thing. That's a caveat there. That's why we have the term wage slave.
It's true. Wagey, getting the KG.
Yeah, too real.
Soon the Amazon wage slave cages are going to be complete. Of course they're going to call them Amazon. They're going to call them Amazon brand, like workplace sustenance cubicles.
That guy turn into real life becomes a satire. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, sure is fun.
You said you mentioned that it was a cheesecake factory you're working in.
Yeah, no. Also, like, the cooks there honestly weren't that bad, but I feel like like that Cheesecake Factory overall is kind of like on the lower end of Cheesecake Factories. Like, you'd probably be better off going to a Cheesecake Factory, literally anywhere else. Although maybe even then, you'd still get like maybe Cheesecake Factories just suck overall. We do have one here in Hawaii, but it's on Oahu, and I don't live on Oahu. That's where Honolulu is. So yeah, it's in Honolulu, and I don't live in or near Honolulu, or even on the same island as Honolulu, so I don't go there.
Just hearing that you live in Hawaii is news to me.
Nope. I moved here when I was 6, and I've lived here pretty much my whole life.
Is the standard of living there pretty high?
Well, the cost of living.
It costs is crazy. Yeah, one of my aunts lived there for a while.
I would say the standard of living is depending on how rich you are, which is probably the same as like pretty much everywhere. Like,
yeah,
there are some beautiful, nice places out here that are just fucking absolutely gorgeous, and most people don't live in them. Most people live in like really, like shitty, like suburban stretches, or old plantation homes from like the 1800s, or like shanty towns. Basically, got a lot of homeless people here.
Yeah, I actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one time going to Cheesecake Factory, we have one in the city that's like 45 minutes away from me, but I've never been to it. But I did go to one when I was in Baltimore for BronyCon 2018, and I actually went there twice because I thought the cheesecake was really good. And I actually heard the story last night from Famous Last Words. Apparently, you were there. You were at BronyCon 2018.
It was at 2018. That is true. So several fun things happened there. I did hang out with Famous, and he took me to Chick-fil-A, which is pretty cool. I hung out in Quills and Sofas a lot just to talk to the other writers and chill with people. I got fucking wasted at Trick Questions party and accidentally locked myself in the bathroom. So that was a whole. So okay, look. Let me explain. I drank a lot, like an inhuman amount. And then I went into the bathroom and I passed out with the door closed and locked. So people.
All right, fair enough.
And they had to call security to open that, and it was pretty. And then Majin Seiko dragged me back to my hotel room, and then I got yelled at by by one of the people I was staying with, Midnight Dancer, who is a lovely lady, beautiful writer, great all around. Basically, my online mom, and boy, does she have her work cut out for her.
I was about to say. I was
Shit.
about to say that she was your crush, but that you just made that awkward when you said she's your
Oh,
online.
let's not go there, buddy. Please.
You have a
some
crush on
decent-
your online mom.
Oh no.
I heard from famous that something else happened after he got out of the bathroom.
What, a Tricks place?
No,
Party?
are you comfortable with asking because like famous said you did something?
Well, I probably did do something, but I can't remember what I did.
You black out your own. Just like I probably did do something. I'm just not fucking there.
Oh no, this actually could have been
guess-
before the party.
I guess I'll be the one to remind you. He says you vomited on him.
Oh my god, did I fucking really? I don't remember that.
I mean, if you're at the point of vomiting, you probably don't remember shit. Yeah.
I've been drunk. I've never been that
Why
drunk.
did he never bring that up? That's just weird to me that he would never bring that up.
He probably didn't want you to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, no one famous is probably why.
Oh,
That or he was like nervous about it. One or the other.
Yeah.
man, fuck that. That's on one hand that is actually kind of funny, but on the other hand, I am mortified.
Don't worry, it's par for the course. It's famous. Like bodily fluids going on him. It's like part of his daily life. Yeah.
I've been drunk to the point to where like I've injured myself easily, but I've never been drunk to the point that I forget the time I vomited on somebody. I
pretty much don't like. My recollection of that night is going to the party, talking to a bunch of people, getting really drunk, and then going into the bathroom, and then like waking up once the bathroom door got opened, and then taking me back to the hotel room that I was staying at, and then Dancer yelling at me in the morning.
Well, was he yelling at you for getting drunk, or was it...
Yeah, she was like, "What the fuck were you thinking?" Because also I was technically 20 at the time, so like that would have.
Oh yeah.
That could have been bad for a lot of people.
That means we were the same age technically, because I was actually 20 when I went to that convention, and I didn't drink, but the group I went.
No, hold on a second. It might. Fuck. Let me do the math. Okay, no wait. I did turn 21 in 2018, but my birthday's in November, so it's.
Hey, what do you know, fellow Scorpio?
Oh, you wish, Sagittarius, my friend.
Oh, very end of November.
November 29th.
Damn, crazy.
You losers wish you could match up to my greatness. I'm a Capri Sun.
Ah, yes, the hidden 13th zodiac.
Yes, I am a special case.
Capri Sun pouch.
I wish I was a Capri Sun press. Those are delicious.
But we are a special case, which technically means autism. But that's a special case nonetheless.
Yeah.
Everyone born under the Capri Sun constellation has autism.
I don't know why it's so funny. Fuck.
I do not make the rules. That's just how it is.
We have a question in the chat from iStar. It's on my blog, the one I posted. iStar says, "Ask Reggie if he'll give me his firstborn so that I might consume their bones."
Okay, well, Ice talks about this a lot. He's really been on this weird like Rumpelstiltskin firstborn kid bent recently. Not sure why, but like I keep telling him over and over again, it's like you're assuming I'm ever gonna have kids, and it's just like come on, dude. Like come on.
I assume you're very fertile.
Why would you assume that?
You ever just walk those dogs like, man, you must be very fertile.
No, just like listening to you, I can imagine you're a good-looking guy.
Yeah, hey, very soothing voice. Yes. You must be a beautiful man.
What a fucking strange compliment. I'll take it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth here, but what a strange compliment.
Yes. Now have sex with me.
I see. That was your long con all along. You're just trying to get in bed with
Yes.
me.
Yes, is it working?
Maybe. Let me check my sex schedule to see if I can fit you in. My sexual.
Sexual. It's just
I
mark it on calendar.
I appreciate your bluntness, Muggonny.
It's not like fucking beating around the bush.
Oh, it's like
Intended,
oh.
but also like, yeah, God. Well,
For those of you just tuning into the podcast, you are listening to Muggonny, Regidar, and Coffee discuss how to get laid, tips and tricks.
tips and tricks to get laid from your 3 favorite brony pals.
Yeah.
Ask you go up
It's
to
just like,
your crush.
it's like a grainy paint composite of us from like different pictures because obviously we're not like anywhere near each other physically. So somebody just took like 3 different pictures of us, cropped out our bodies, put them in one image, set the resolution off a little bit so it's like really grainy. And you know we're all dressed in like the cringiest pony attire that you could possibly imagine.
Oh, the audio fucking pony attire.
Like I'm really talking about that 2011 early 2012 hot topic shit.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
That I remember that. Oh boy.
What a time to be alive.
oh my god.
Watching Hot Topic transition from the place you went to get like My Chemical Romance T-shirts to the place where you get stolen art of like stolen fandom art T-shirts.
Yeah.
Really quite the experience, quite the transformation.
I would
Yeah.
really go. I want to really go and say I have a lot of good band T-shirts. And that's about it.
The closest thing I had to a hot topic in my hometown was a GameStop, and the GameStop at the GameStop in my hometown, it actually closed down because it couldn't survive the pandemic. I was actually sad by that because
They should have held on for when the
They should have held
Yeah.
on.
should have held on. Should have held on.
Almost there. Almost.
Almost.
They just held on for a little bit longer.
We're going you guys.
I was really sad too because like I knew that GameStop since I was a kid. I actually said when I turned 21, walking into that alcohol store for the very first time was like walking into GameStop as a kid. That's how sad I
The
was.
alcohol store. I'm sorry.
Alcohol
That you described as the alcohol store, not like it's not the
alcohol
liquor
store.
shack.
I'm,
The alcohol.
It's not
I
the
don't
corner
know.
store. It's the alcohol store.
I'm drunk. I got drunk just to do this interview. Leave me alone.
The alcohol store. Let's go.
Ah, yes, I'll have 1 alcohol, please.
Yes.
Not inconspicuous at all.
Waiter, I'd like another shot.
Here
How's
is
that
my
going?
totally real and legitimate ID that I made on the back of an index card.
My name is Sir, not a child.
Sir, this is a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
I mean, you fell right for my trap card.
Yes, but is it Blue Eyes White Dragon?
I would really love if just like if it was just like a good enough, a rare enough card or a powerful enough card that they would just respect and give you a free drink.
That or challenge you to it right then and there.
I actually gave up on Yu-Gi-Oh at a young age, but since it became popular again recently, I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't mind being in that situation where a customer offers me a Yu-Gi-Oh card in exchange for goods or services, and just be like, okay, guess I'm giving somebody a blowjob, and.
I was a kid. I watched like the TV show, but I didn't know it was getting popular again. Then
It's mostly getting like a resurgence. I don't know if it's still having a resurgence. I think it still is because I still see memes everywhere. But like when Duel Links came out, which is just like the electronic version of it that you can play on your phone and shit. When Duel Links came out, I gave it a lot of more. Like it gave it a huge revival back in like 2016, 2017. I remember I played it a shit ton with my friends until pretty recently. Like I think the last time I played was 2019, so it kept my interest for almost 3 years.
My understanding is though just that the card game itself is just popular right now. Like nobody really cares much about the show except whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think anyone's given a shit about the show for ages. Like I think maybe GX was the last time anyone gave a shit about the show, which was what the mid 2000s.
yeah, I was gonna say I've only watched the original when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Was she the one with the brown haired kid or the black and yellow haired guy?
The first one is the one with the black and yellow haired guy Yugi, and
There's
the
another
second one
guy. No, there's a
is
third
with
guy with black and
Jaden.
yellow hair.
The brown haired guy Jaden is from GX.
Uh,
I've seen pictures of this person.
Yeah, there was a third series with another black and yellow haired guy, and it's basically Yu-Gi-Oh, but
Oh yeah,
the
no,
racing.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the third. That's the third one. Then that's when they added in like a bunch. Bruh, they just keep adding like crazy shit onto this fucking show. I'm not even that into Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I know a decent amount about it via osmosis, just because one of my friends is super into Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's how it was for me too.
Yeah.
But I played enough of it to know like an okay amount of it, and honestly, that does mean that my meme roster is larger, and I can understand the hilarious memes that people throw out about Yu-Gi-Oh. So,
By the way,
I guess that's I generally tend not to think about any knowledge of media as a lost amount of time or like misplaced brain space, because then at the very least I can understand memes about something that I know about, even if the thing itself is actually not that enjoyable or like very good art.
Yeah, see, that's the extra level thinking there is for the memes.
Exactly. No, that's basically how I tolerate any amount of knowledge that I have about like fucking Chris Chan. It's like, wow, this is all really like sort of just like sad and depressing. Oh wait, that's right, memes. That's why I know about this terrible cursed soul.
The poor soul, yeah.
Do me,
Fuck.
do
I want
me
to
a
think
favor.
about Chris Chan.
Do me a favor
It's-
and beat up Ice Star. He's blowing me up in DMs.
Oh,
God.
He's making fun of me because I can't get laid with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would be making fun of you too, honestly, because I'm pretty easy. I'm a little bit of a slut.
Damn, I love it when they're like that. Damn.
And yet, even you still can't even land it. That really just goes to show about your lackluster love life.
Unfortunate. Even on Valentine's Day, that's the cherry on top.
Exactly. No, it's Valentine's Day too, and everything. You're just getting like this is just like giant middle finger from life itself.
Hey, bait. Okay. We got somebody in the chat saying step one is to start with a corny pickup line. So here we go. Hey, baby, it's the 14th. So why don't you be my 14th?
Oh God, no, no.
You're blowing.
I like how that implies.
I've never been less aroused.
I like how that implies I went to I filled through 13 other women just to get to you.
And you're about to be going on to 15, buddy.
15. All right, Coffee, you're next.
No.
all right on to 16. You're doing the Valentine's Day speed run any percent here.
I'm sorry. I couldn't let you. I couldn't let this podcast evolve in this level to approach you. I'm sorry.
Hey, Coffee.
It's true.
I take my coffee. Yeah. I take my coffee thick with cream.
Oh my God. I think this is the one occasion I'm going with decaf today.
You know, I might just skip coffee altogether. Actually, maybe for the week or my life.
Oh,
coffee is over. It's banned. It's canceled.
It's canceled. Over.
No coffee. Coffee is over. We finished it. It's completed.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play Coffee 2 tomorrow, but for tonight, coffee is done.
Coffee is done. We're moving up. We got whatever it's ordinance. We got to move on to more organic materials like yerba mates and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh crap. Yeah. While we're at this, let's go back to the list. I was gonna ask you about your thoughts on the previous podcast, just based on what you remember, because I went back to that podcast from 5 years ago, and the first few seconds is just me saying, I actually don't know who you are. I just know you're a popular writer. And your response
Nice.
to that was you just stopped for a moment, like you actually sounded befuddled by my sheer stupidity, but you retracted it and just acted really cool. And I was like, so yeah, I write for film fiction. What were you thinking in that moment?
What was I thinking in that specific moment 6 years ago?
Yeah, if you can remember, is what I said.
Um, fuck. I don't know. Probably I was either probably just trying to go like along with the joke, or maybe I was for whatever reason I was bamboozled that you didn't even have at least like some cursory knowledge of me, because as we all know, I am the most important person on the planet and perhaps even the main character of existence entirely.
Yeah, man.
But uh, no, like I would probably have to rewatch it. It could have honestly just been lag too to demystify the situation. I could have just like it could have just lagged out before I launched into my whole thing.
Well, you actually made a noise like you were at caught off guard. The noise was like, that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
yeah. No, but do you, how much of that interview do you remember?
Uh, Pretty much none. I don't remember any specifics about it. I do remember that it happened, but no specifics about it can come to mind.
Yeah, I tried listening to it just so something would come to memory, and I had such a bad lisp back then that I could not get that far into it. Like even if what I was saying uh, made somewhat any sort of sense, I could not stand my own voice long enough to
Damn.
remember any part of the interview. That's you did seem to be a lot smarter than I was back then.
Well, don't worry. Now we're on par with each other. Perhaps you may
Yes,
even be smarter than I am, for I have done nothing but
I doubt
degrade
that.
intelligence over time.
Yeah,
I
our
doubt that.
combined IQ of like 2.
Yeah.
It might just end up being blood brothers. There you go. We are losing intelligence over time.
I
True.
actually do feel that fucking in my 20s, I feel like I've degraded so much just for being on my phone all the time.
Yeah, it was like how I counteract that is, like they talk about how we're on our phones all the time. I actually use my phone to build knowledge. So whenever I'm at work, I'll actually be listening to a podcast, or I'll be
Better man
listening
than me.
to yeah, or I'll be
Yeah,
listening
no,
to an
I'm just
audiobook.
listening to like fucking like.
Hmm?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, fuck, man, like, I wish I could, like, even just, like, listen to an audiobook, because most of the time I'm just listening to, like, the same 5 Charlie XCX songs and, like, looking at memes on my phone. That there's, like, there's a void of intelligence going on there.
Uh,
Yeah, I do this unfortunate thing called browse 4chan sometimes. That is called degradation right there.
from
Yeah, that's, like, a full frontal lobotomy.
If yeah, fucking real.
okay, I'm reading this out loud because iStar wanted me to check the chat. I want one shot from the alcohol store straight in my head after hearing those pickup lines.
Understandable, I agree.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
yeah, I think Ice actually wants into the chat. Do you guys want to invite him?
Yeah, sure. I like him.
Yeah,
Sure.
throw them in. Wait,
Let's see.
did you mean, like, on the stream itself, or?
Yeah, on the stream itself, I guess he wants to join in on the conversation.
All right, yeah, shit,
Yeah,
go
go
for
for
it.
it.
Like, I just didn't know what you were like. If you were just gonna let him into like the chat to keep talking, or if you're gonna like actually throw him in on like the stream so that we could hear his voice, kind of shit.
Yeah. Here, let's. I'm bad at this. I don't know. I don't know how to computer.
Don't worry, they're college students, so they'll raise our IQ points. That's how it works.
But yeah, no, our average total IQ will raise. Then maybe we won't get we'll pass our
Oh, SATs.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with FDA. I was thinking that we need a certain level of like of intelligence to be FDA approved as like non-livestock animals, so we can just get like killed and eaten.
Understandable.
Because like I'm pretty sure our intelligence together right now, at least without iStar here, is a combined like that of possibly, if we're lucky, a cow.
Some people find cats very cute, so maybe we'll be spared.
Unfortunately, cuteness doesn't really compute to intelligence, and that's all that the FDA cares about is how smart an animal that they're killing is, which is why it's illegal to eat dolphins and humans and monkeys, but it's not illegal to eat pigs or dogs.
Yeah, I've actually learned something there.
I have the intelligence of a lobotomized patient regaining some of his cognitive abilities. Now, that's where I'm at.
Quick question. Anyone hear Ice? I can't hear him.
Ice? You can't hear Ice?
I can't hear Ice.
Let's see here.
I cannot hear him.
Hey, Ice. You there?
Ice.
Now.
Hey, there you are.
Oh, okay. So I think there's a couple other reasons maybe you can't eat those certain animals, but okay, so we're saying it depends on cognitive ability, sophistication.
Yeah, so what we're saying is that if a person was born below this level, we're all free game to eat them.
Okay, so then how come I can't eat furries?
Well,
I mean, we never said we couldn't.
Oh no, that's more of like a for the same reason you can't really eat rattlesnake glands or those poisonous pufferfish that kill you when you eat them.
There.
It's not safe to eat. You just can't consume them. It's not edible.
Also, if we're streaming this, I have no idea what Twitch's rules and things are to what I can and cannot say.
Watch.
What are the bad words?
Oh my god!
I don't know the Twitch rules either.
Like 3 of them.
Yeah, you can't say racial slurs. That's the obvious one.
No gamer words.
Of course, the magical gamer word is forbidden. Understandable.
Understandable, yeah.
You can't make fun of Muggonny. I know you're gonna do that.
Oh, we were
okay.
not
So
supposed to do that?
We can't say the M word. We know who we're booting.
Yeah, no. Recently, Twitch's terms of services just updated to say specifically that you cannot make fun of Muggonny. Him specifically. Everyone else is fine.
I mean, Regidar.
It's okay. I respect people with disabilities.
Yes, thank you, Ice.
Unless they're furries.
I'm just gonna step out.
We just alienated the 2 furries in the.
It's like half of our fucking audience that you just got rid of, all.
Let's lose all our subscribers. Do not.
I'll be here all day.
Unsubscribe, block us, report us, please.
Follow my Instagram.
No, I'm tired of this.
No, you probably post feet pics.
I do.
Oh.
Go
no.
away. Have you been hanging out with Nicholas too much?
I was messaging him earlier today, but I don't hang out with him.
Oh, okay.
Do you hang out with anyone, Muggonny?
I don't. I live a sad life.
Evidently me.
Sad and alone.
Yeah. I just sit alone at home playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 by myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which one? Important question.
The original. I play on just like standard PS2. I don't even have any other consoles. I just have a PS2. And
it's kind of based.
Yeah, and just like a box TV. I actually had to wait 8 minutes for the TV to turn on once I hit the power button. I just live a sad life of being poor and talking to nobody.
Alright, Ice, you mentioned Twitch rules. Literally all common sense, like don't break the law, don't evade suspension, self-destructive behavior, violence, threats, hateful content, and harassment, that sort of thing.
I just want the
fuck the law.
Peasants of Twitch to know that I fully endorse and support tax fraud. Tax evasion is okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. PhD in economics, Ice S-Tar here has...
Actually, I have a BA in English and another in philosophy. Thank you.
So
well, then you're the last person who should be telling us about money and economics.
We have questions in the chat from the IRS.
They got us. And we were so close.
The proxies and VPNs didn't work this time, boys.
The IRS is my favorite terrorist organization.
Whoa, careful there.
Yeah, IRS.
So, Regidar, we both seem to have similar friends because I know you're friends with Ice. I know you also
Actually-
mentioned yours. Huh?
Actually, if you look on my page, Regidar has described me as, let's go.
Oh, I think I actually seen this quote before.
I have put it, let's see where it is. Let's see. You are a figment of my imagination sent by Satan to torture me for my wrongdoings.
You know,
Oh, boy.
I think he had a point there.
Yeah, I'm still pretty convinced that I'm not entirely wrong about that.
And
I
you're
reject
omnipresent,
this.
and you're always here on my case whenever I do misdeeds.
Okay, but I'm going to need some objective evidence from Regidar here, who has accused me of haunting him and being a demon on multiple occasions.
Like anytime you enter a room, like all the light gets a red tint on it. There's like piles of sulfur that appear on shit.
I'm a little more into brimstone lately.
You carry around like this like large fork like object that could possibly be used for stirring pitch.
I prefer sporks.
Oh my fucking god. So yeah, no, like that would make sense, really, honestly. Like a modern satanic demon sent to torment me specifically would have spork zords with them.
If I were a demon, why would I wear something so mainstream?
It's to blend in.
Yeah,
No. I reject your accusations that I would wear anything so tasteless.
I object to your assumption that I would wear anything.
I feel like
Muggonny, get out.
But I'm hosting the stream.
Too bad.
Yeah, get out. No, leave the stream on, but also leave the room.
No, Muggonny, you can. Muggonny, listen. Background music is okay as long as it's you crying in the corner.
Ouch.
Hey, Ice, listen to this.
No.
Oh, thank God! All right, now that only the cool kids are left.
Our IQ is actually raised slightly now that one of the three dumb trio here is left.
Yeah, our overall IQ average is now higher.
The I in IQ stands for.
Unfortunately, this is still like a bell curve. So unfortunately, we're still like in the negative here.
Rats.
Unfortunate. I just realized something. He's the one that had all the questions written out.
Oh yeah, shit. I guess we'll just have to make up our own questions now.
I'm not very good at this. Not gonna lie.
we managed to go for nearly an hour here. Like we've done this for nearly we're at like the 45-minute mark or something, if I had to guess, and we get to talk about pretty much anything related to writing.
Damn! Wow, we are experts at fucking tangents. Let's go.
Where do you get your ideas?
Well, I wake up.
Actually, I have a very important question here. So you might remember this on the FinFiction thread on fucking 4chan on MLP. You mentioned how you were writing a Christmas story and it involved Fluttershy and Rudolph. And I remember this being specifically posted.
It did.
I want to hear about this.
There's a story that is posted. It's there. It's I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Wait,
how much
there's a story about Fluttershy and Rudolph.
You don't want to read.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't recommend. That's safe for Ice.
I think I saw.
I was about to say do I want to talk about this out loud? Is that something I want to talk about right now?
Well, what's so bad about it?
Oh man.
Would it be easier to name what's good about it?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so it turns out like anyone who's been paying attention to MLP and has picked up the signs like I have, who's noticed the little Easter eggs and the ways things connect. Obviously, Princess Celestia and Santa Claus were a part of the same platoon in the Vietnam War, right? Like that's just obvious to anyone who's watched the show at this point.
Understandable.
Anyone who can put two and two together understands this.
I'm starting to wonder who is really on the extra strength painkillers for wisdom teeth here. I'm not sure it's me.
I wish that were me.
Yeah, I wish that was me too. That sounds chill.
No, it doesn't do. I can't. Can I swear? Can I say the bad word?
Yeah, you can swear.
Do shit. It just makes it slightly duller. I still feel everything.
Unfortunate.
He's coming in at 21.
Dude, I feel your pain. I genetically have like just bad teeth in general.
To be you.
Okay, so what you should do is just get those, take them out for a while, put them in a Ziploc baggie, mail them to Regidar for a snack.
I have been collecting like a nice fat pouch of teeth.
Can you show us your teeth collection?
Yeah.
No, because then you know where it is, and I'd have to be paranoid about it getting stolen all the time. If I show anyone,
who is going to steal a bag of teeth?
The Tooth Fairy, obviously. Come on.
Yeah,
you mean the Denture Fairy?
Not, like, a line of people waiting to like a line of people.
Listen, the Denture Fairy stops giving you money when your parents get divorced. That's how it worked for me.
Oh shit! No, that explains why I've been poor since 8.
The Tooth Fairy hates you.
Oh shit! That also explains why I've been poor since 8.
I mean, most people don't like me.
What? What do you mean? I love you. You're a bro.
Always say, okay, first of all, that is very gay. Second of all, I'm constantly accused of being a demon.
Well, alright, so I can love demons, you know?
This isn't an anime.
It doesn't need to be. Remember, I'm part of the strange waifu thread. I'll have you know.
And I'm pretty sure that like it's like a demon human marriage has been like legalized in the United States for at least like 75 years at this point.
Florida doesn't count.
Florida is a lawless wasteland
where everyone wants to see your butthole. Yeah.
I think that's called OnlyFans if we're talking about wastelands with buttholes.
Yes.
Fucking wasteland has a butthole.
Speaking of OnlyFans, Regidar, do you want to plug yours?
No. Muggonny, go to bed.
Spreadidar.
No, let us just wipe it all out like
let us see the head of
fucking New Tokyo and Akira. Thank you very much.
Hey. You should probably honestly ask him fish-related questions.
Yeah, no, we still have yet to even like approach. Well, actually, no, that's not true. We tried talking about writing for a second and immediately got derailed by the fact that you brought up that story, which is one of my more recent criminal activities.
It's because I think this one of the only things I've slightly interacted with you with beforehand was fucking seeing you on that thread, and I was like,
I'm trying to remember what else I said in that thread, because I usually I'm not I'll show up every now and then to engage with whatever if there's a good conversation going on literary wise.
It depends.
There's that one fucking dude who's literally frothing at the mouth
over rekindled embers. Yes.
No, not that. It's it's over his fucking sorry, I didn't mean to say it. It's so mean, but the only reason I say that is because this dude is literally at the edge of a psychotic break over the fact that his story hasn't gotten featured, and he thinks that it's a conspiracy against him.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. That's amazing.
This story about a stupid Pride event got vote bombed into the feature box, and me over here, I'm not getting into the feature box at all. And it's just dude, then maybe you should write something that people want to read. Yeah, it's
very, very important. That's your fanfiction topic. Just write what's because people have a certain case on the site. So usually what's popular is what's in demand. And
it's not even
if you're writing something that's outside
popular either. It's it's just the dude thinks that there is a conspiracy against him specifically.
Well,
to prevent him from getting into the feature box because because he doesn't write about like he was frothing at the mouth about the Pride Parade story that got featured because he's like I guess he's also just one of those people who thinks that it's always the fault of those damn gays or those damn minorities.
The damn gays are all at fault here.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like that.
He says as he watches a show for little girls and writes fanfiction for it, but I digress.
Yeah, but no, it's like obviously, dude, it's because this show is really about like traditional masculine values and forming an ethno state, but with tiny magical values, obviously.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Can we form an ice no state instead?
Ice no state. What does this involve? Besides eating children. So just you. I
am the king.
All right. Well, what's first decree?
The icy king.
Ice no state.
Yes.
I think I can live with this.
Puns become mandatory. And pizza rolls are outlawed.
I'm not okay with that.
I'm not okay with that. How long is it gonna be until you enter your final form?
Bold of you to assume that I ever have a final form and am not just unlimited in nature. Thank you for your...
Damn.
It's like to taste whatever form it wants.
One might even say I am transitioning into greatness.
Yeah, funny guy.
Slapping my knee.
Take my firstborn.
Muggonny, you have to get laid first before you ever have a chance of getting a firstborn.
To get laid to have a firstborn?
I mean,
the fact that you have failed so many times on this stream alone.
Yeah, we're going on the 16, right? And since this makes it 17 now, because yeah.
So something tells me that Muggonny did not have a sweet 16.
I did not. I didn't even have a 16. I actually skipped.
You gotta call them out like that.
I actually
goes on stream.
Yeah, I actually skipped my 16th birthday, so I didn't have a 16th.
I don't even remember my 16th birthday, to be honest. So.
Yes, I would never even turn 16. I went straight to 17.
Just went straight to 17. Damn, I wish I could skip a year.
Yeah, it was sad.
It's like skipping a grade.
Yeah, I didn't feel like going through another year, so I just skipped through it.
Yeah, I would have skipped 20, so I didn't skip straight to 21.
Then why didn't you skip 2020?
Why didn't I skip 2020?
Damn, that's very facts right there.
That's true.
But then we're in 2021. That's also shaping up to be a pandemic year.
Here's the thing. I tried skipping 2021, and the Muggonny you actually interacted with in 2021 is actually a robot. You're speaking to a robot right now.
Isn't every year a pandemic year as long as we have anime?
Yes.
Alright, so I guess I'm going to live in pandemic for the rest of my life.
The plague is not contained as long as anime continues to proliferate.
I'm sorry to say, I have weebed.
Okay, so we're banning coffee.
No. He's got an acceptable illness. He's social distancing.
Oh,
yeah.
Social distancing his fucking horrible anime lust.
Yeah, see, I keep it to one channel on my own server.
Yeah, the only reason we have coffee on here is because Make-A-Wish said so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's got terminal fucking anime-itis.
Yeah.
It's very terminal. Like, it's so terminal that I consume more than just fucking anime from Japan.
Coffee, how much longer do you have?
When I fully learn Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna fully learn Japanese, and then he's just gonna vomit a bunch of blood and fall over dead.
Yeah. It'll be a while. So I have to memorize every kanji, and there's 6,000 of those bastards.
Dear Lord, I'm gonna miss you.
Don't worry, I have to remember.
You halfway through the process of getting your Japanese citizenship, and you're just you're shaking the hand with the Japanese customs
Prime Minister.
He's like, no, you fucking wish.
I wish.
You're shaking your hands with the Japanese customs officer who says, so you are finally a Japanese citizen. You're like, finally. I can watch anime straight from the tap, and then you immediately just vomit blood all over his table and die because you hit terminal, like your body has succumbed to terminal anime-itis.
A very eventful way to die. I can go out this way.
So, Regidar, I actually want to get into talk about your writing, but first, we didn't explore some of the work talk enough. At least I think. Do you have any more stories you want to tell before we get into that?
Not really, because like there are like I'm sure I could pull out like other stories of interesting events, but a lot like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of like as a joke, but like it's not really a joke. Um, just like a lot of it is really just kind of like you had to be there scenarios, and most of the jobs I've had were just like shitty fucking like food industry stuff or like very basic
retail, yeah.
like secretary work, which is just like all of it is just soul crushing, awful.
Yep.
I do have some funny like commission horror stories about absolute fucking crazy wackos who've tried to commission me.
Yeah, I saw the picture on your page.
That would be delightful to hear. Who are these wackos? What did they do?
There are two that really stand out in mind. One from like 2016, and then another one from last year. The one from 2016 was just this dude with like this fucking like he was just like the pickiest, most impatient bastard on the planet Earth, and like he wanted me to write like a bunch of like weird like burp fetish shit, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I guess.
Wait. He wanted you to write what?
What? Did Jack of a Few Trades commission you?
Excuse me? Alright, I do Jet of a Few Trades. I think it's Burke. I think it said Burke. I was like, what?
It was some dude named the Octavarius, and yeah, it was like he just wanted like a story about the characters like burping and like eating like a horrible meal that made them burp a lot. I was like, okay, whatever, dude, if that's what gets you off, please pay me up front.
Man, I know therapy isn't free, but I think his money would be better spent elsewhere. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, he was like the real problem with him was that he was just like he was just super like demanding, and he wouldn't leave me alone for like every few days. He'd be like, you're taking way too long, and then he would change up like the entire story that he wanted. It's like, dude, you're like, of course I haven't made any progress with your stories when I get the fucking plot changed every 4 days, and you're like doing like a 5,000 word commission here. So like it's gonna take a couple of weeks. Calm down. And then eventually he just like
he just thinks you can belch up his word count for him.
Pretty much.
You're a funny guy.
So famous last words actually open up commissions late last
year.
I've
had to edit
some of that.
I edited him for a bit, but he actually had to close them down because the commissions were getting so bad. And my question for you is opening yourself for commissions worth it?
Well, it really depends on who you are. For me, it is kind of worth it because like I have a high tolerance to that kind of stuff, and like I would so much rather be miserable writing than I would be like miserable working in some fucking dish pit or stocking shelves.
True. I fuck with that right there. I'd rather be miserable writing than miserable stocking shelves and talking with assholes over retail.
Like customer service shit, like all that. It's like even if you like, and you do make less money per hour with the commissions, but at least it's like, for me, even if I'm writing some horrible schlock for somebody that I'm totally not into, I'm just like, I can always console myself with, well, at least I'm getting writing practice, and I feel like I'm doing like I'm working at what I'm good at.
Are we gonna talk about like that one really weird commission thing that Amos got?
Oh, what, the fucking wall torture?
That wasn't even the weirdest one. That was just...
Yeah. It was a weird one.
That's not even like the weirdest one.
That's the one I was editing. So that's the one I remember.
And the one that Famous literally subjected Muggonny to in in person.
Well, we had a fun time with that one because I just started shitposting all over the.
Oh,
dog.
did you get some in-person experience with cock and ball torture, Muggonny?
Yes, I did.
That's the only way to get
thank
any.
you for visiting me, by the way.
Okay. Okay. So what is the weirdest one that Reggie was talking about? He listed the impatient one, but what was the other?
Oh, I mean, like the way that impatient one too ended, where he just went, oh, "You're taking way too long for this. I could go to somebody else and have this done already." And it's like, okay, yeah, dude. Hey, good luck trying to find somebody who will put up with you changing the entirety of the story that you want every 4 days. And hilariously enough, like every so often now, I'll hear about him. From like other people, like, God, I just got like the most fucking irritating person to work with. I'm like, oh my God, was it this dude? And they'll be like, yeah, how did you fucking know? And he's got a bit of a name for himself. And kind of in a similar vein too, like the people who always irritate me the most with commissions are the people who just cannot like just wait for me to finish their product.
So then what was the other one? You said there were two that were particularly
No, this
similar.
other one was like, if that dude was bad, at least he was only like bothering me for his story and did it for like 4 weeks before he decided to just like bail and cut the deal off. This other dude who I worked with last year for like 6 months kept fucking berating me about a story that he wanted and like would not leave me alone ever. Like anytime I was online, like I had to get into the habit of putting myself as offline so that he wouldn't, like, I could go online and talk to people without him immediately just bombarding me with like a million questions or like just like asking me like, is it done yet? Can I see where it's at? And I'm like, no, dude, you gotta give me some space and leave me alone so that I can actually like write your thing and like do other stuff at my own pace instead of just like, just because you paid me $100 to write your awful story that you don't want to do yourself doesn't suddenly mean I become like your slave.
He paid you how much?
$100
For what? What did
like a
what
10 for like a 10K story.
What was it about?
It was just some shit about like I think it was actually like it was fairly vanilla. It was about Ember, and it was obviously like, you know, a sex commission, like a clop fic, but like like, you know, it was fairly tame, but he was just like not ever quitting about like, is it done yet? And like asking me like, you know, like, oh, we should talk about the story in depth every day. And it basically seemed like he really just wanted somebody to like RP with him. And I was just like, yeah, dude, I'm not like, you know, I barely know you. I'm not doing that shit. And the funny thing is I think he actually has like a somewhat substantial following on FimFiction, which made me laugh. But then, yeah, just after a while,
Can you say his name or
I'm wondering if that's like a good idea, or like, because, you know, it's not like this is going to be viewed by a ton of people, so it's not like he's going to get like harassed or anything. But
you said the name of the other guy, so I just wasn't sure.
That's true too. Like I also already did dox the other guy. Yeah, this was Dark Sonic Killer.
I recognize that name.
I unfortunately do too.
Can somebody fill me in on who this guy is?
He asked me to write porn as a minor.
Oh God.
When I was a minor.
Oh boy.
How young of a minor were you?
Like 15, 16.
Oh, you're talking about children. I thought you were talking about the other thing.
No, when I was a minor.
That was like years ago then.
Yes. He was like one of the first people I blocked.
I only became like aware of him because he contacted me last year.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's like one of the first people I blocked.
On the map for me.
I got a comment on a page from somebody who actually commissioned Famous the CPT fiction. They asked me if I take a request.
Say yes.
Say yeah. We're saying yes for you, Muggy.
You take requests.
They asked me if I take requests, and I didn't realize this, but this was actually the same person that commissioned Famous for the CBT. So I had to explain to them. No, go ahead.
Reggie, where do you post most of your commissions then? Like, where do you?
Some of it make it to my my mains. A decent amount of them make it to my alt, which none of you get to know. If you find it, you'll win. But
Wait,
I'm
you
not
have
giving
an
away any
alt?
prizes.
I
Alright.
thought
But
you
dude,
put
everyone
everything
has
on
an
the
ult.
Reggie
Everyone
account.
has ult. Everyone has ult.
Everybody
I mean, yeah, but
watching,
mine is literally for posting garbage.
everybody listening to
I
the
actually have
stream,
5 different alts.
Oh,
everybody,
okay. So we got
What
Blue
are you, the
Harvest,
next
we got
Skirts?
Imploding
Okay, fine.
Colon, we got Skirts. Just naming all the alts right here.
I
going
want
through
to.
all
I
of
want to
them.
track down these alts.
Everybody listening to this stream, Dux, Regidar, find those alts.
Yeah.
Come on,
Ow.
are you gonna rattle off some of these alts?
All right, yeah, no, a couple of them, just to name a few, is like Penstroke, Short Skirts and Explosions,
I've heard of those, yes.
SD, Hits, Aurora Dawn, Captain Sparkles, or sorry, Captain Sprinkles. Captain Sparkles is my
Please, for the love of God, say you're the Descendant. I
my
missed that, man.
YouTube, my Minecraft YouTube alt.
Regidar, I am gonna make sure you live forever if you do not tell the truth about these alts.
No, that is the truth. Those are literally all my alts. It's in fact all good writing from this fandom that has ever been produced. It was just me. It was all me.
What a talented bastard.
Beyond
Yeah.
all.
Why aren't you known for your pinch stroke all? You seem to be successful with that one.
Oh, like I guess you could say that, but like it's not really like when I'm on my pen stroke alt, I gotta like pander to the masses, and I'm more of a I'm more of a free spirit that way. That's why I prefer posting on Regidar mostly. But like they're expecting some Nick shit or like some cute fluff kind of shit. And really, if I just wanted to like turn like the pen stroke one is like it's better to have like the idea of pen stroke is a lot more engaging than actually being pen stroke or reading pen stroke. If I want boring, useless, fluffy crap, then I would just go on my other alt account, the Abyss. Which I've been incredibly successful on. But yeah, so like I actually do have a funny writing story related to that Ice already knows about, but like
Floof is for cuddles.
Yeah, no, in like 2018 I had already been kind of annoyed by just some of the interactions that me and the Abyss have been having for a while, and like I just in general think that like I'm trying not to insult him too hard because this is a lot of stuff that he doesn't really have control over, but like his and like our personalities just don't really mesh very well. I find a lot of the things that he does like a little bit like ingenuine or kind of like a little bit like I guess he has distinctly, and I remember this distinctly in my memories, said like, and I can appreciate this to a level, but it's really just totally not what I'm about. Like he really is just like somebody who will not put a lot of effort into the majority of his work and then sort of act like all high and mighty about it, which is like fair, whatever, dude. People really like your work even though you don't put any work into it. Like, even by your own admission, you don't really work that hard on it and people still eat it all up anyway. That's great. I wish I could do that. But at the same time too, don't like if you're just gonna act all like haughty and high and mighty just because you write a bunch of like inconsequential fluff that people eat like their Twinkies or whatever, then like you really can't be like pretending that you're the master of high cuisine. But again, like I don't want to be like talking shit about him because it's much more fun to just write parodies about people's work. And it was mostly supposed to be good natured as it could be. But I wrote a story like that was literally named after one of his stories, and this was also more of a social experiment type thing, as is all the rage these days. A hilarious social experiment, where I was just like, I was told that people really just they don't read the tags on stories very often, and like if it's aesthetically built a certain way, people will just click on it regardless of like what tags are also associated with it. So I wrote a story that looked like it was just like a cute little fluff fic about two OCs cuddling, based on a premise that the Abyss had milked himself for a little while. And then halfway through the story, I have the parasite that was ingested by one of the OCs on a trip to Mexico ages past. I had that parasite hatch and sort of have the host go cannibalistically homicidal.
Oh, like that one time in Florida.
Yeah, no, like
You
your
mean every day?
typical.
No. I'm talking about the specific time where that one guy had like a bunch of bath salts, like a whole Bed Bath and Beyond worth of them, and then ate another dude's face.
Oh shit.
That one.
Damn.
That classic bath salts meme, pretty much. So like just like it was your classic bait and switch. You go in, you dress it all up like it's cute, fun, fuzzy times, fluffy, and then halfway through you just have some cannibal murder. And needless to say, like people on FinFiction really don't read the tags very often. I got like over half of the comments on that story are like, "Wow, this did not go the direction I thought it was going to go." I really should read tags more often because, in retrospect, seeing the gore and death tags on here really should have tipped me off.
The other half were me.
Unironically, yeah, no, like half of them are you. That was all fun and good. The initial event was all fun and enjoyable. But then the Abyss contacts me later and he's like, "Bro, I'm like, if you have a problem with me, you should just be like upfront about it." And I'm like, "What?" I wrote a parody of one of your stories. Like, he was so legitimately like offended because I was making fun of the fact of his like typical like story fare, and it's like, dude, like my story isn't high art either. Like I'm literally just it was less of like an attack on you and your writing and more just like using the kind of writing that you do, which panders to the lowest common denominator by design and by your own admission, to like poke fun at the FinFiction audience to show that they don't really like, they're going to be going into this kind of thing not even considering the fact that somebody could be just like fucking with them. So but he took that very personally. He took the fact that I used his story idea to pull a wacky little prank on the FinFiction community very personally.
I actually kind of like that. So I like authors who like to kind of pull little tricks on the community, kind of show them like little insights that they've never seen before. And usually,
yeah, I've always been about that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to write about.
Would you say that? Would you consider that a troll fic or just like a fun little fic for everybody to read?
I don't know. I think
I think it's a fun, floofy fic about cuddles and nothing more.
Pretty much, but also, that's the thing too. Is like that's something that I've given an absurd amount of thought into because I did start off as more or less like a troll fic writer. I think that there's like. There's like three nebulously interchangeably used terms that get thrown around a lot for those kinds of stories, and even just like over the course of me being on FinFiction and the way that the FinFiction community has evolved around my course of time being on the site, like I feel like there's a certain level of just like, you know what, like yeah, I would call it a troll fic because in the end it was me just trying to troll people. Like the whole purpose of that story is just to troll people. It's still well written, and I think that there was a precedent for troll fics not being very well written at all for a long time, which is something that even when I was younger, to varying degrees of success, because I wasn't really that great at writing when I was younger. If you can call me good at writing now, but like. The way that like troll fix or shit fix or crack fix, whatever you want to call them, like there was a group of people on the website who I really enjoyed hanging around with.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Your fingers are
Yes.
heavy.
That was excuse me. It's not me though.
Down with the transcriptions of my conversation,
Oh,
but yeah, there was a group of people that I really like to hang out with back in like 2013, 2014.
Sorry to interrupt, but are you guys complaining about the typing?
that was you?
Yeah, it wasn't me. Yeah, don't
Oh,
worry.
I
okay.
was
I'm
kind of
sorry.
writing a story before you guys while I was listening, and when you brought me in, I still was sort of pecking away at it.
Oh, you're good.
My
Just
ADHD demands I multitask, and also my jaw is literally having teeth trying to break out from within.
Hey, you remember that one story you wrote as a parody of my story that involved teeth?
Are we
So
gonna read that out loud
we're
too?
going to reenact that.
Are we
oh,
gonna
okay.
try to like wow Reggie with my parody writing? Because my parody writing is admittedly fairly lackluster.
Funny guy.
So,
Or
Regidar,
are we gonna read Peanut Butter and Genocide? Which
Oh
of my
God.
horrible
maybe,
troll fics will we read?
maybe we'll actually read something before at the end of this interview. Depends.
Yeah, it's a bedtime story for Regidar.
Yeah.
Remember when this was an interview?
Yeah.
uh,
Regidar, I actually want to revert back to your trolling days, and I have a question for you there. Unless you had a story you're telling, do you want to finish that first?
Oh well, I was just saying like it's less of a story, more just like a point about about like troll fics and like crack fics and like absurd comedy or situations or surreal kind of works. Is that there is sort of like, to me, there is really a fine line there, and like a spectrum of stories, if you will, between like the troll fic that's written to be an absurd fucking like just like, you know, a meta joke, or like just like to be dumb for the sake of dumb. There's a fine line between those and like actually playing around with like the surrealism in a story, or like the metaficness of it, like the commentary or the relation of it to the community that is consuming these kind of stories, and like the expectations they have about it. And then of course, you know, on the other hand, you do get just stories that are absolutely garbage, and they call themselves troll fics anyway. And that's the whole point. But I feel like even the existence of a troll fic to begin with is kind of just already like, you wouldn't have troll fics unless you had a precedent of there being a lot of terrible stories that people write and put out as fan fiction, particularly like the whole like My Immortal, for instance, which is probably the first troll fic, if we want to go like if we want to just like keep things in the internet era.
Yeah.
My Immortal is written that way because it's supposed to be like a reflective parody of the way that a lot of people's first Harry Potter fan fictions were written.
Oh shit! Yeah, you keep saying my walls. Why does that sound so familiar? Oh yeah, it's that story.
Yeah, it's that, and for the longest time too, people didn't even think it was a troll fic, because there are plenty of stories that are literally like that, which is why it was written in such like it's such egregious style. So
And
there's a certain amount of irony inherent to writing troll fics and everything. But I hung out with like a couple of people back in the day, in like 2012, 2013, 2014. People like Hephaestus and Chuckword and Wrath of God, and Pascal and Fiddlebottoms, who all to like a varying degrees sort of stretched like the troll fic motif. And people like
Fiddlebottoms.
Fiddlebottoms is fucking good. But people like Fiddlebottoms would create like actually like thought-provoking, surreal fucking landscapes in his writing of just plot and actual like background and everything and setting. He would just create these absolutely fucking insane stories that at a glance one could easily just classify as a troll fic. And then of course you have people like Chuckword, who's like everything he wrote was a troll fic, but like it had an inherent comedy to it that really just like, I don't know, the only way that I can describe this kind of comedy that I really like is there's this sort of like Adult Swimishness to it, where you're just like insulting the audience and casually breaking the fourth wall in ways that I guess like you're not even having characters break the fourth wall. You'll just have moments in the story where you'll add into the narrative like something that you, the author, had done, or just like or personally insult the audience as the author. Like if you've introduced a scenario that needs some explanation, and then you add in like this is personally my favorite one to do, is where I'll introduce a scenario that needs some sort of explanation, and I'll and I'll go with like the lead-in cliche of, well, why did this happen, you ask? And normally I'll answer it with, well, fuck you, I'm not telling you. What do I look like, some sort of author? And I've used that joke about like 6 or 7 times at this point. But to me, it never gets old. And it's just that kind of humor where you'll that I think is probably best exemplified by Hephaestus's work. I think Hephaestus was honestly one of the funniest people who ever wrote stories for this site, and I highly recommend him.
Oh, what was his name?
So I think his current fanfiction name is Good Christian Hephaestus.
Yes.
I recognize this Chuckwood person as the legendary.
Chuckwood was a legend. Like, he really was a legendary troll. But a lot of his fics that he wrote was like, a lot of them were legitimately just like absurd, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force-esque like types of comedy that weren't necessarily troll fics. It was, for lack of a better word, they were troll fics, I guess is the best way to put it.
One moment, I need to get up. I will be right back.
Okay. So
Don't
Wait,
plan
Rusty?
world domination without me. Y'all know I'll take everything.
Alright. So we're playing World Domination without I start now. Okay. So Regidar, I want to ask you, do you remember the this fanfiction group from a few years ago? It was called Bring Button Back. Do you have any memory of it?
I have a vague memory of it. I'm now wondering what my involvement with this was and
Okay.
how this is going to be sprung on me.
Okay, so Bring...
I have returned.
Okay, yeah. So Bring Button Mash Back was a group on fanfiction created, I believe it was 2014. It was created in 2014.
Sounds about right.
To protest the cease and desist that Hasbro sent to J Animations.
Right.
And its idea of protesting was to stop watching the show, so in order to bring Button Match back, and it blew up within a day, and the people blowing it up were just blowing it up to talk about how shit it was, and I was actually the creator of that group, and I remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember just going through all the comments, and I was like 14, 15 at this time. I had no sense of awareness. I remember just turning on caps lock and just yelling at everybody in the comments. Out of everybody, you actually went on there, and I could tell I could tell now that you're trolling. You went on there, and I got in an argument with Professor Plum. You said I agree with at the time my name was Jaden777. You said I agree with Jaden777. Professor Plum is being a dick. And you actually started a thread organizing. So the thread was titled "Okay, so this is our plan," and you started getting everybody together to come up with ideas.
Oh my god, yeah, no, now
my time.
All the memories are flooding back. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Man.
No, I really do miss just doing shit like that on fanfiction, where I would go in and take like, someone who's obviously like, because like I am friends with Professor Plum and like that whole group of like right people and which is just like, I think I don't know if they're still active, but Right was just like a big writing help group. That was a big thing. All the rage in like 2013, 2014, and it was made up of the remnants of the Trainwreck Explorers, who was a group on fanfiction back in 2012, who just went around and found stories that were like, for lack of a better word, train wrecks, and they just sort of like, they cataloged it. But as you can probably guess, that snowballed into like coordinated bullying really quickly. Where they would just find stories that they thought were shitty, which kind of were. They were written very poorly, but then they would just mercilessly make fun of the stories, and like it became a whole thing to like seek out these stories just so that we could like be there to make fun of people. And they also like wouldn't just be based on quality either. If it was written about a subject that people didn't like, they would go off on about that. And of course, there's still a degree of just that naturally occurring on fanfiction nowadays, but like it's part of the reason why they have like the rules around like call out posts and coordinated it. Like, you can't really have a group that's coordinated around specifically harassing people with stories that like, oh well, this story I think is really shit, so I'm gonna put it in this like folder. Like literally in this group,
Yeah.
we had folders based on like how shitty we thought the story was, and then we would add it to those folders. And based on which folder it got added to was generally indicative of how many people were going to show up. Because if you put it in the this kind of sucks folder, then not a lot of people would go there. But if you put it in the absolutely unholy abomination train wrecks folder, then like 40 people would show up and start just giving this poor like fucking 14-year-old who just wrote his first MLP fan fiction like a hard time. And like that group, for good reason, got banned. It was banned, and the whole like community of it and like the Skype chat that was associated with it ended up sort of splintering into like a bunch of like smaller like little troll group type things, like for people who really were just there to like be trolls. The right group and also Rage Reviews. I believe Rage Reviews rose from the ashes of that whole debacle. But yeah, like so Professor Plum and those other guys from the Trainwreck Explorers and like Wright that I am on fairly good terms with and think they're all chill and everything. I do think that for like they're really into that whole like zero punctuation angry video game nerd type shit where you go in and you sort of like riff a piece of media and go, how could they be this stupid? What were they thinking? Nostalgic.
Yeah, but without any of the self-awareness around it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like even at that point, there's like how self-aware really is Zero Punctuation or the nostalgic critic or angry video game nerd. Like I'm sure there is definitely a level of self-awareness to them, and I'm not giving them shit because they're they're talented.
I was gonna say, yeah, I like Zero Punctuation. I don't really watch nostalgic critic though.
I've never seen any of these things, so I don't get the reference.
I'm just like bringing them up because like that's the vibe they're trying to go for.
That's kind of like what they go for. Yeah, that's what Zero Punctuation he goes for that sort of thing.
All I get is that we're talking about like our first encounter with Reggie in the wild.
I actually don't know what my first encounter is. Last one I remember was on the MLP thread.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I just like, and the whole reason to bring this up to begin with is just like, I enjoy like hanging out with these people, and even if like they're my friend, I'll still like I cannot resist the urge. The troll in me cannot resist the urge to just like go and like take the side of the guy that everyone is like ganging up on, like the dude who wrote the shitty fan fiction. Even if I think his story is also shit, and I'm kind of like making fun.
See,
of him.
that's a layer of humor to it.
Yeah, like I still like fucking like being like the character I like to play, I guess, for it would be like the guy who is like white knighting but also thinks that like this person's story is like actually unironically good, but for like a pretentious hipster reason that is actually like more an insult than anything else. So like it's a weird mixture of like hipster and white knight. I like to play for that, and so and I think that comedy plays off really well against because you'll have people like Professor Plum just like frothing at the mouth about like how like this is shit. And I'm sorry, Plum, if you end up hearing this, I'm just using you as an example. This is not in relation to anything specific. Please forgive me. But like if you're just someone like that, just frothing at the mouth like this is shit, and then like laying out all the concrete reasons why it is shit and why it does suck, and they are right. Like even then, I'll still want to be like the guy who looks at all that and goes, well, no, actually, you're just kind of being a douche, even though you're actually completely right. So I don't know. I just think like that to have an antagonist point like that.
Well, especially if you're doing it with friends, and it just has a social aspect to it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, yeah, and I think it's also something that I did pick up from people like Chuckwer and Nefesta, who would literally like they would always play devil's advocate because there was always a good like this isn't a good way to actually debate, mind you. It's actually a pretty shitty way to debate if you
Yeah.
play devil's advocate for everything. But in terms of like comedy, yeah, it is actually kind of fucking intensely hilarious to like just play devil's advocate for like the stupidest fucking shit that is like you're clearly in the wrong about.
I believe
It
we
was,
call
I don't
that
know.
simping now.
I know. I think we call that the master of
Simp.
bullshitting instead
Yeah.
bullshitting.
I think you would love late night if you still did it today.
We need to get Reggie back into having fun.
Oh, late
Yeah.
night. Yeah, that was fun, dude. The last time I ever harassed someone on FanFiction.
Yeah, let's not do that to that particular individual.
Yeah.
I'm not just fun anymore.
You can be fun again, Reggie. We love you.
Yes.
Make Reggie fun again.
Make Reggie
Make
fun.
Reggie fun. I've only known you like on a talking basis for like what is it, 2 hours now, and I say you're pretty chill. You can be fun again.
Speaking of that 2-hour note, we're getting towards the end here. So, so I was going to ask you some. We're getting to an interview where I actually start asking you personal questions about your work now.
Oh, like his
Yeah.
Oh shit.
social security number.
I will
Yes.
probably laugh. Yeah, no, social security number. That's the first thing you gotta throw up for that. But like, I need to check my my blog here to see, and I will laugh when there was actually no comments. But
I saw the comments on there.
There's probably someone who commented something nice.
I think Darf did.
Darf, more like Schnarf.
Hey.
Yeah, no. Let's see if let's answer questions here. Wow, 3 horse icons in one stream. I feel spoiled from none other than Frozen Sun over here. And Darf just means ID. Darf just said IDK seems pretty gay, which I can agree with. I think
understand. Yeah.
Aren't we? Wait. Let's see. Everyone but Muggonny is either gay or bi here. So
we have to tie Muggonny up and beat the shit out of him.
I'm just gay by default.
Yeah, well,
gay by association.
Like God just flipped the gay switch and turned it taped it down on me.
Oh.
No.
All right, so what we're saying here is that you're gonna be the gay by the end of this podcast. That was the true goal this the whole time.
Okay, so
sure,
yes,
this is the gay agenda.
All right, so it's gonna ask you the personal questions. So before we started this interview today, I actually got not halfway, but I got some ways into Twilight Under the Bodhi Tree. How do you pronounce it?
That was like the first story I recommended you and told you to read it, and yet you read like the ones about like sniffing glue or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw you like.
There's I asked you about this because a lot of stories seem to follow similar elements, and basically in the story, begins with like a Glitter reading a short story on Celestia and Discord forming a suicide pact, and it moves on to like Twilight has some form of dementia from something that occurred earlier that we're not aware about, and Glitter has this urge to run away from reality and do her own thing, and a lot of your stories seem to kind of follow this is a pattern of I want to say self-deprecation, if you can call it that. It's exploring personal issues basically. How much of this how much of your work is basically what I'm asking is actually based off yourself?
A fair amount of it, honestly. Obviously anything that's getting like a little bit outlandish there. I do take liberties with my stories when I write them, but a lot of them are like the more I guess emotionally potent, the heavier stories. Generally, just me sort of writing a story instead of going to therapy when I want to like try to process through something shitty or like.
Oh, hey, we are brothers in that regard.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that it is a time honored tradition of the artist to forego therapy and instead just write or draw or sing or whatever have you, or sculpt
Yeah.
or broken glass, um, mosaic their emotions into whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So and there are certain stories too that are basically more or less like real life retellings of events that I've endured, but obviously with artistic liberties taken, because what's the point? Like I would just write like
Yeah, it's
I
just
would
an
just write
autobiography.
a memoir about what happened instead of like writing a story about it, because I feel like particularly with the setting that MLP provides, there's there's a better artistic backdrop and there's more like thematic keys to explore and line up against each other, and there's a lot more potent metaphors that you can use when you're writing in a fantasy setting, particularly the one that we all enjoy doing.
So could you also do both and get therapy and artistic
No,
outlet?
not allowed.
Like,
Huh?
okay,
no,
then why
not-
do
not
I
even
do that?
remotely.
That's what I do, and I'm
Because
the
you're
one
a
with hundreds
demon!
of
A
Here's the thing.
demon!
I think art itself can be therapy, and I actually kind of discovered that myself because like last year a lot happened for me, and I discovered this show on Netflix called it was called The Midnight Gospel. You should check it out. Okay, and it explores very deep topics like death, and by the end of it, I actually felt like I had a better understanding of myself, and that's why I think art can be therapeutic.
See, that's the important thing of fiction, and when it comes to like media in general, is that sometimes you can learn more about yourself from it.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say you've learned more about yourself by writing about these sort of things?
Yeah,
I definitely explored, yeah.
You, Regidar?
yeah, no, I would definitely say so. Like, and at the end of the day, too, it's always good just to have like the experience and the emotional validity down on paper for other people to also experience, um, and like having it processed through feedback or through people's people's empathy, because once like they can empathize with the situation that's going on, or just to let like to have it be told in the way that I tell it with all of its embellished bells and whistles, and then have people interact with it and like receive it, allows it to be more than just like nerd, weighty, useless lecture on my
It
mind,
comes
I
off more
guess.
honest if it's coming from the heart.
Yeah. Do you actively like seek out like not like purposely like seek out, but like do you actually like allow yourself to like read stories that you know are going to be depressing?
Oh yeah, no, I'm the kind of guy I'm all about that catharsis, man. Like I enjoy going through things that have a heavy emotional gambit, because that's part of the whole purpose of art. I feel it's to make you feel, it's to make you experience things. And if you just read like there's nothing wrong with going through like a stint of just reading comedy, or even just reading like
Yeah,
fluff
yeah.
fiction,
Well, I
really
mean,
nothing other than just like
it's a
cutesy
different
slice
form
of
of
life.
entertainment.
Yeah. No, and for me, a lot of times, like I need the help of an environment where the story is sort of just like like where it is a bit fantastical, but it's still dealing with emotions that I personally am dealing with in a world that is a lot less fantastic, and magical, I guess. And also like it's really hard to describe how like the framing of putting it in like of putting like something awful that you have to deal with in real life, putting it against the frame of a mythical or magical or fantasy world, and having all these other things that are just like either they're like fantastical or they're absurd by nature. It's juxtaposed against these other like emotions, makes them seem somehow more valid to me, I guess. Like it makes the actual emotion stick out all that harder, because it's like that's the constant. Like even in this world where they have all of this that we don't have in our world, they still can feel and experience the same things that I'm going through, kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, This is how we grow.
I find that much the same when it comes to writing myself. Is that when you're writing from the heart, like I feel like it becomes a lot more honest, and that because it's a lot more honest, people are able to connect with that more.
People can tell too, like they will be able to tell when something is written from a place where somebody truly understands what they're writing about, whether that is from like comedy or tragedy or like just like emotionally tense drama, or even just like even just fluff fics. Like if you're writing from a position of really understanding what makes those things like enjoyable to people, and you truly do enjoy writing them, and you take your time to like hone the craft of it, that's still a valid craft to have to hone.
Yeah.
People can.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, people can tell when you're just sort of are phoning it in, and like that's why certain authors who built their entire like I guess brand around writing certain stories like don't always last forever, because like those stories are no longer compelling to the people who were reading them, because they can tell that there's just sort of a phoned in aspect to it.
Yeah, you're just kind of writing it to write it.
Yeah, I honestly don't enjoy fluff fics because they never really feel genuine for me. Like even they feel.
I'm gonna say I've wrote a few, and those are also my least favorite things I've ever written. So I was like, man, this is vapid.
Yeah, like they feel cute. Like it's like I don't really feel like the feeling is going on in there, because it's like
it feels strangely empty, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the way of describing it. Strangely empty.
When I wrote Project.
Vapid almost.
I have this fic that I wrote. It's called Project Rita. When I wrote that story, it was for a contest, but I had this topic. I had this idea in mind that I noticed a lot of people in relationships don't seem to be aware, and that they base their relationship in fiction, and because of that, they have these whole ideologies that they set themselves up for, and by the time it reveals that those ideologies were never true to begin with, they're disappointed, and sometimes they go on through their lives, like they'll reach into their 50s, and they don't realize until then that they've made a mistake being in this sort of relationship, and that's where Project Rita come from. I wanted to explore that topic and actually explain those people how this sort of thing goes wrong, and I think fiction can teach us how to see through these things that we don't normally see. That should be obvious in general. Do you have any fics like that?
I mean, I guess the one that's immediately coming to mind is just one that I wrote after Surf and Turf came out, because I thought they handled the subject matter really poorly. It's called Two Heavens, and that is also based on my own experience with it, and just like things that I had noticed about the situation that it's going through. So yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
In terms of wanting to explore like a concept that you've noticed through your own personal experience about something.
Yeah. Yeah, the big risk factor is finding out if the concept you're exploring is an unpopular opinion.
Well, yeah, no, that especially, like, I think honestly, like, even as much as I will like honk my own horn and go like, well, you see, I'm actually one of fiction's forefront experimental writers. Like, you can go over my work and see that like I'm actually like a lot of my takes are pretty lukewarm. They're not really exactly hot takes. Some of them are actually deep frozen, and they're just dressed up in like pretentious or pretty language.
I thought I was deep frozen.
Yes. Just watch.
By another name.
Go back to your hole.
Back to your hole, demon.
No.
Just watch Titanium.
No.
Okay, yeah, just watch.
No. I may have his soul, but I will tell you that it is dingy and dusty, and there's a couple boogers stuck to it that
Grody.
Moldering.
Yeah, he did not take care of it.
and his soul was not prime condition.
I would give
when
it a
we-
bad
when we,
Yelp
to say the
review.
Yeah, on the topic of unpopular
It was a
opinions,
shit
let's
Yelp
just
review.
on the topic of writing about unpopular opinions. Let's just take Titanium Dragon's example and writing a story about black people thanking him.
Oh my god. That can only end terribly.
Like I can't even think like there's like if there's any way to like even like
I
safely.
do. That's what I say. That's what I'm saying. At this point, it's just gonna be. No matter what I do with that, it's just gonna blow up in my face.
Oh, yeah, no. I think we can just like the best thing to do with Titanium Dragon is to just sort of like leave him in a hole somewhere far away.
You mean
don't
Reddit?
I mean,
we don't really think about him very often.
don't most people who represent them as dragons online live in the hole that is called the parents' basement?
I said stop making fun of me.
I wasn't thinking about you specifically, Muggonny, but if
but
you'd
my
like
avatar
to,
is a dragon.
if you'd like to confess something,
Oh yeah,
I
it's a
start.
dragon.
I like
I was
to fuck
thinking about,
dragons. Leave me alone.
okay, I was thinking about, just dragon OCs in communities that also tend to like dragon and other animal.
I wonder if my neighbors heard me.
Yeah,
Original
you need plus 5, right? Let's go.
And not be known for having good social cognitive skills, among other things.
This is not a strong suit. This is not something that we're particularly known for.
I wonder if my neighbors heard me yell, I like to fuck dragons.
See,
that.
wait one second. See, if
Let's
that is
not.
true, then they probably already heard.
Thank goodness dragons aren't real.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of nice cars that would be on.
I cannot finish Aragon because the pages, they're just.
Don't I don't. I'm stopping you right there. I know where you're going. I'm stopping you right there.
Buddy, calm down.
That's why I stopped there.
I'm not letting you ruin my childhood.
Whoa,
Not today.
easy.
What was the next topic? We got off track there for a second.
we pretty much explored everything, unless we want to end this. Unless we want to end this
on a lackluster note.
Lackluster.
No, let's try to go out with a bang. Let's do something interesting and fun.
Yeah. I was going to suggest, unless like we want to play a quick game or something, or read a shitfic.
Let's say the guest.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Let's
that
leave it up
maybe,
to the guest.
Let's do that.
We could do a fun little quick like verbal game here. Like we could do like a hypothetical situation, or we could do like a would you rather type game. I don't know. Whatever. What were you thinking there?
But I kind of I think I like your idea.
Which one?
We're gonna be gamers.
Hypothetical game.
Oh yeah, minority representation.
Let's
We're
go.
gonna be gamers and play a game.
Let's just be
Oh,
gamers,
yeah.
guys. Let's play Halo.
On the
but
rise.
Let's play Halo, but let's just make noises, not actually play.
Yeah,
The
dude,
actual game.
the moment we indulge Halo is the moment Lucky 7 comes in here and just completely trashes this podcast.
We will summon 7.
He 1v1s us through the noises and somehow beats us.
Yeah, well, if we're playing Halo 2 for sure, he used to be a pro player.
Yeah.
Man, imagine being a professional
learn.
Uh,
minority.
Okay, so what do you have in mind for this game, Regidar?
I had no fucking clue, honestly. Like, if we were gonna do the hypothetical, I could just throw out a hypothetical scenario, and you guys would just respond with how you would deal with said scenario. But then, you know, we could always do one of those sleepover games, like a would you rather type game, or.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I mentioned that twice. It's literally the only thing like in this genre of games I can think of. But it's
It's off
like
the top of your head, yeah.
yeah, or like a fuck. I think this is just because I was playing Would You Rather all last night with my friend and his sisters. It was like it's pretty fun, but also really gross.
So
Wait, then why do you want to do something if it's gross right now?
Well, we can make it not gross.
Yeah, we don't have to be. We don't
We have the
the
power
non-gross version.
within
So-
our hands.
So let's take a vote then. Are we going to do the hypothetical game, or are we going to take or would you rather?
Hypothetical game
You coffee?
that has more options.
I say
hypothetical.
hypothetical.
All right, I guess we're doing hypothetical.
All right, cool. Some classic comedy improv shit.
All right, I'm not gonna. That means I'm gonna be shit.
Yeah,
All right, like we'll go.
yeah. Don't worry, I'm absolutely the best at when it comes to improv. I'll have you know.
Okay, so this situation will. I think this will be like a good one where like it won't take us anywhere too crazy. We won't go on for ages about it. This will be a pretty quick like wham bam thank you man one and done kind of shit. Where we just you just tell me your reaction to this thing within the setting that I described. So all right, so you're going downtown to the local convenience store.
The alcohol store?
Yeah, you're going down to the alcohol store. In fact,
Sorry.
yeah. So you're taking a trip down to the alcohol store. You're like, yes, after a hard day's worth of work, I'm going to purchase myself one, maybe even two alcohols, and just have like a really nice night, night at home watching horses while drunk. And you do that, but in order to do that, you need to get yourself some alcohol. So you go to the alcohol store, and you're browsing the aisle a little bit. You're checking shit out. You wander past the into the snack aisles where you see some canned dog food and like little things of washers and small
alcohol store.
Yeah, small pile of blank, normal things that you'd find in like the snack aisle of the convenience store. And as you're going, you suddenly see like this giant mason jar filled with what looks like suspiciously like Orange Crush soda. And suspended within this Orange Crush is a fetus. It's sort of just floating there.
Oh.
Is this BB?
And there could be some relation, but the thing about this fetus specifically is that when you get within 5 feet of it, also you like notice like on the side is like a big like like black lettering on the side, but like you immediately ignore that because when you get within 5 feet of this thing, it starts communicating with you telepathically, and it starts predicting natural disasters in the future, like the amount of people who are going to die in those natural disasters. So it says like on August 16th, 2022, 16,852 people in Indonesia will die from an earthquake. Like, that
Poggers.
So it starts just rattling this stuff off to you about like natural disasters in the future. And actually, the manager of the alcohol store comes back, like looks all like flustered and embarrassed, and he assures you and points out on like the black lettering on the jar, like he's like, I'm sorry that this is still out on the shelf. It's like a little bit past its expiration date, but it's still good to eat if you want to buy it. So what do you do? I guess that's my hypothetical that I postulated to all of you. What would you do being confronted in this situation?
I would eat the fetus.
All right, so we immediately hard slam to fetus consumption.
Well, what would happen if you ate the fetus? That's the question.
Oh, you don't know. You haven't eaten the fetus yet. Do I look like that guy that's not eating fetuses?
Alright, so the ice over here. No.
I would gain the ability to predict every natural disaster in the world.
Like your non-existent sex life?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a natural disaster, though? Like, that seems more like a personal
I think it's a natural consequence.
Yeah.
Man, you're fucking mean.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna switch the mean card onto you,
That
Ice.
is Ice.
Well,
They are known for their witticism.
I think that I wouldn't
Yeah,
go to the
Scott.
store unless I brought along a good friend like Muggonny.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I'm not interested in paying for this fetus.
Oh,
So I shove it up Muggonny's prison wallet and just drag him out of the store, crying and screaming, and tell him to not be a baby.
but when you say prison wallet, do you mean you're gonna shove it up my ass?
Yes.
Muggonny, there's only one prison wallet.
That was the implication, I believe.
Okay,
But also, you have to
yes.
keep in mind this is a
And
very
besides, is
large-
your
this is a
other
very
wallet, is your
large-
regular wallet big enough?
Yes.
I think not.
This is a very large mason jar,
Yeah.
by the way. Like it's
Like,
not only just the size of the
my
fetus.
wallet can
Well,
hold it.
that's
My wallet
too
can hold
bad.
it.
I will put it in the wallet that is more likely to contain it.
I actually got my wallet custom made to fit the money I don't have.
Ouch.
It doesn't matter, Muggonny. It's your.
You know,
going with
all
the
your
prison
guys want
wallet.
to consume it orally, and you want to consume it like suppository. I'm just over here like, all right, so it's predicting like natural disasters, like right. So yeah, I'd be very curious, like to learn like more about that. But like my second thought would be like, I wouldn't be able to actually like stop these sorts of things.
I mean, if
That's
that thing
actually
is
happening.
fermenting an orange crush, who's to say it's not in like a sugar high?
To be
That's
fair,
why
I might
take
be
it
fucking
using
schizophrenic
Muggonny
at this
out,
point.
and we go home.
You know what? I would just take the fetus out of the jar, hand it to the manager, and just take the jar home.
I think I might have just lost the last marble.
I'd make sure. I'd make Muggonny take it out of his prison wallet, put it in a blender, and then watch him drink it.
Tasty.
I mean, like you're really
Dude,
just
protein
you're
every day.
You're robbing yourself of the culinary satisfaction that is just like taking a nice.
Yeah, but I get the emotional
into the skull of the
satisfaction of
So-
watching Muggonny have to drink this fetus and then like hear its telepathic voice.
Right, but don't you want the sublime satisfaction of biting into the fetus's head yourself and just sucking?
No, it's
sucking-
undercooked. I eat kids. Kids, the children.
Kids.
This is
It's
not yet a
undercooked.
child. It is undercooked.
Has been
Besides,
in the oven long enough.
sharing is caring, and I am being a good friend to Muggonny.
Thank you, Ice. Thank you for looking out for me. I really like this fetus.
Exactly. You better like it, Muggonny. You don't get a choice.
You hear that,
Like-
Dad? You could have got me that for my birthday.
I feel like you guys gotta contest something worse than fucking COVID and Ebola combined.
Like the way that I'm imagining this going down is all three of you guys walked into the store together, and like Muggonny and Ice are like fist fighting each other over how to eat this fetus, and Coffee is just like, dude, this thing is predicting natural disasters. We should probably like not kill it.
You should probably not consume it or shove it up your ass.
Here's my question: does the fetus have COVID?
Yeah, give it some extra flavor for when Muggonny has to drink
It
it.
seems as though the jar probably has protected it from COVID.
Indeed.
All right, so what you said it's a big mason jar, so I get inside the jar in order to be safe during this trying times.
Big. It's like those little tiny I guess it's about the size of like a water cooler that you would bring to like a sports game, I guess, and fill with
Okay,
Gatorade.
one of those.
I thought you meant like a cryostasis chamber.
I can probably fit in there if you just like push me down hard enough.
Yeah, you got like a cryostasis chamber just in the middle of the alcohol store.
I mean, it's more likely than the fucking fetus in the jar predicting natural disasters. Just gonna point that out there.
You don't know that.
So we haven't even talked about the fact that this baby predicts natural disasters. We talked about it, but we have not talked about it.
Yeah,
that's not important. What's paramount to this decision is the taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like natural disasters. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
but like, what it
I
tastes
think
like.
really, like at this point, yeah, you guys have all just gone, yeah, whatever. Natural disaster prediction, fetus, whatever. How does it taste?
I mean, we all lived through 2020. Natural disasters are nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be like 2021 pandemic lasted the entire year. I'm like, oh, hey, cool. I already knew that.
Yeah, Australia's on fire right now, but who really cares about Australia?
I mean, Australia is normally on fire. They have a volcano that's been burning for generations.
Yeah.
So all the spiders.
That's what they get for being upside down.
Oh, then why does the lava just go into space?
Their holy
There you go.
retribution.
There you go. That's a problem. They're not
Yeah,
letting go to
it
space.
solves itself. The fucking magma just spews out into space.
I think I would send this baby to Australia. Maybe they can figure out what to do with it.
Dude, it'd probably turn into a kaiju, just, like bitten by like a fucking spider that's fucking has like a super strand of some shit.
Like a bird, like a bird hunting spider.
Yeah. Then the fucking fetus evolves to its next stage of life.
Nice.
And that's the other thing too, is that all you guys immediately assumed, but like I never said this thing was a human fetus. You guys just all assumed, like.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All you guys just immediately said, "Yep, that's like in your mind," because I didn't specify what kind of fetus it was because of your human-centric mind.
Well, I was thinking it was human because you said it was telepathic and speaking our fucking language.
Yeah, well, you saying that dolphins, that fetuses aren't telepathic and speak our language? Is that what I'm getting?
I've
here?
never met a dolphin fetus.
Yeah.
So exactly you wouldn't know.
So we're getting into weird shit here, okay? I'm reminded of the ending to 2001: A Space Odyssey. I think the baby represents time, space, and can I pawn it off for drugs?
Oh yeah, we're going Snobcast. Let's go.
It's been up your ass. I think you can pawn it off for anything at this point.
Okay, so I pawned the baby off for drugs. Is a baby where I don't know what it's a baby for. I just know I pawn it off drugs. I buy a shit.
Dude, what if it's like a fetus of like a fucking white like horned rhinoceros and like it's somehow like still alive?
Yeah, what if it is still alive. It's communicating with you telepathically.
We could make it into a lava lamp.
It could technically be alive, but like
I like this lava lamp idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a new one out of all my days of presenting this orange.
Regidar, I crave violence and cool interior decorations.
I've never heard anyone go with the lava lamp interpretation after all these years of doing the fetus hypothetical.
Oh my god.
Frankly, I think that, going to like Joanne Fabrics and getting the things we need or whatever craft store to make this lava lamp instead of just a fucking mason jar with a fetus in it, we can make it a lava lamp with a fetus in it. I think that is extremely valid and that we should try it.
It just might work.
Dude, that's a very good idea. It becomes even more of a conversational piece besides the hypothetical. You have a lava lamp with a fetus in it.
And the fetus is telepathic, so of course it's a conversation piece. Yes. It can talk to you.
Like you're just like giving people a tour of your house and you just go, "This is my lava lamp. It can predict natural disasters. This is my easy chair." Just like move on casually.
We should all have a meetup and we should
actually... Could you go back to that thing about the natural disaster lava lamp? This here is my kitchen.
Okay, so I think we should all have a meetup and we should try to make a fetus lava lamp. The question is, who's going to get Muggonny pregnant to get a fetus?
A fetus meetup? A feet up?
Oh, dude, we're gonna be stuck here fucking forever trying to get him pregnant.
Ice, getting me pregnant.
Oh well, we'll just have to keep trying.
Muggonny, I have taken a vow of chastity.
I know, Ice, I know.
So, is it going to be Regidar or is it going to be coffee?
I mean, teamwork makes the dream work. So.
Oh shit, we're just gonna fucking do it to each other. Let's go.
I mean, that is the original name of this podcast, anyway. So.
Oh shit, yeah. We started with the ship name.
Yeah, Muggonny, Nana, Coffee, and Regidar have a threesome.
No. That's a pretty good note to end off on, right here.
Yeah, see, there we go. It comes full circle.
It is. Okay.
The Ouroboros has swallowed its own tail, and life is complete.
Yep.
So, do we give a farewell, a proper goodbye? Do we bow out?
Just reintroduce ourselves, and I'll do the closing.
I am Ice Star, and I showed up, and I tormented everybody.
typical Egg Star fashion. I'm Regidar. I was the guest. I write awful stories on that horse website that you all know and love.
I have written once.
I am Coffee. I was dragged into this by Muggonny because he was a very nervous boy.
And I am Muggy. I am still a virgin. If you're watching this, to that one person still watching this, thank you. And we're tuning out. Have a good night. Thank you for coming, Regidar.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me. Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We need to do group calls more often.